welcome to your workout. Today's focus is going to be on the hamstrings and on the hips. We are going to try to stretch and loosen up the tight hips, this area in here, and then work on underneath and the hamstrings. So we'll start out with some malasana squat walk-up exercises, and then we will take it down to the spine and do some hamstring exercises to relieve some of that tension or tightness that you might have. I'll catch you in just a second. Start at the back of the mat and do our malasana walk-up squat. So you're just going to take a big giant step and plant that left foot at the front of the mat. So you're going to be in a half malasana squat. So you're going to walk it up and then walk the other leg to meet up and drop the hips down, and then step back now with the left leg and then back with the right leg and readjust. And then you sit here. Let's do a couple of those. I'm going gingerly with my wrists. I fell backwards yesterday and landed on both of my hands, so my wrists are somewhat sprained. So I'm just very gently tapping the floor. Now let's go with the right leg. Walk it up, and then walk it up, then drop the hips down. Hold here. Take a deep breath. And then let's step back with the right and the left and come back into your low squat. Let's just do a couple more of these. We're going to get our hips loosened up, and you're going to feel out of breath because you're doing a little bit of cardio. So step up with the left leg, and then with the right leg, drop those hips down. Catch your breath here. Then step back and step back. Let's go ahead and do one more of these. So if you can't place your feet flat on the floor, you can also be a little bit up with your heels propped up, or you can sit on yoga blocks. I do have some yoga blocks there for those poses when I need a little bit of help because of my wrist. And then we're going to step up again. Right leg, bring it down. You're going to lower down into this hip opener, push on the insides of your knees with your elbows, or open your arms out to the side so you can open up and loosen up those hips. Let's hold here for 5 breaths. Breathe into the discomfort. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Exhale, and one more. Good. If you have your yoga blocks and want to use them for assistance, now we're just going to push our hips up into the air and drop them back down. So this is further going to open up these hips. I'm using the blocks for some assistance because of my wrist. So you're just pushing and then lowering back down for 1, 2, up, 3, you're feeling this in those quads and the hips. That's 4, push up with the hips, and 5, and then just bring it down for a quick second. Bring the knees together, roll up into a rolling like a ball pose, but we're just going to hold here, not putting any weight on the hands. We're going to come into a lizard pose real quick. So, sorry, I cannot put any weight on those hands. So step forward with your left leg and take that left leg out to the wide part of your mat. So you're at a little 45-degree angle. And then you can put your fist to the mat or your block, or you can also take the knee down. So this is your lizard. Now try to open up that knee a little bit more, so then it becomes more of that hip opening, malasana, squat action. Modify your hand to whatever pressure you want to put. Like I said, my wrists are in bad shape right now because I fell backwards. I was trying to do a jump onto my son's bed. I'm not 20 anymore. I don't do that type of exercise anymore. And fell backwards and caught myself with my hand. So that's why I'm in a little pain. Okay, so now that was the lizard stretch. You can do many variations of the lizard. You can also keep the knee off the floor, untuck your toes, and you can also come down to your forearms. You can use the blocks and keep your hands open. That way you're not putting any weight on your hands if you're in my situation. Now let's do the other leg. So bring your right leg forward, and again, put whatever weight or pressure you can on your legs, on your hands. I'm not putting a lot. I'm using my fists because that's not putting pressure on my wrists right now. So you can do your fist, you can have the knee lifted, you can open up that knee. So if your knee's folding in, push out a little bit. And then you can also open up the palms, rest here into this lizard pose. And from the lizard pose, a natural transition is to go into your pigeon stretch. So let's just go ahead and drop down the right leg straight into your pigeon. And so straighten up your leg. And again, no pressure on the hands here. I'm using the blocks to modify. My hands are open. I'm not putting any pressure on my hands. This is a great workout, kind of, if you will, if you're having wrist issues or anything like that, because I'm modifying everything to accommodate my painful wrists right now. So you're going to hold here in your pigeon. This is kind of working in the glute area, also opening the hip, the inside of the hip here. You just want to breathe into it. Then let's go ahead and switch the legs out. So I'm staying low to the ground, but you do whatever helps you get down into this pigeon. And this is a good hip opener here. So you can get into more of a back bend, or you can lean and try to bring that leg even closer to the ground. So this hip extension right here, your other leg is also working in that hip muscle. Try to, if your body's opening up to the side, fold it in so that your hips are on one straight line here. Good. I'm just holding here for a few breaths, nothing too excessive. Then you want to roll yourself to a seated position where we will come into our butterfly stretch. And again, I'm going to use my blocks so I don't have to put any weight on my palms, on my hands. And you can either, I'm using my fist to prop up, which doesn't put any weight on my hands, it just is on my knuckles. So you can sit up tall like this and open the hips, flap the butterfly wings. Your other option is to come down to the floor, maybe put the blocks out in front so you have a goal here to reach. And don't let the hips, if the hips want to lift up, press down until you're in a comfortable position with this hip opener. We're going to hold here. We're not quite doing a yin yoga exercise or workout here, but we're going to hold this for a little while. This is a great hip opener. So see, even if you can bring your head closer to the floor or to your blocks, if you want, take the block to your forehead and then put your hands out and just hold here. Relax, open up the hips, and then carefully come back. Now, another hip opener you can do from your side body. This is actually called a hip opener. You're going to bring the leg up and push. We're just going to do 5 of these. And 2, and 3, and extend. 4, and extend. And 5. You can take your arm without putting any pressure on your hand, or even take the inside of your foot for a single leg happy baby. That's a great hip opener. And then we'll swing over and do the other side. So come down to the mat and let's open up that hip for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And see if you need to grab that toe, not putting any weight on that wrist or hand. Just wrap your arm underneath it to open it up a little bit more. And then we're gonna go right onto our backs for a leg grab exercise. I'm gonna clasp my hands together, but I'm not actually putting any weight on them, and just switch. So a real gentle switch. 2, this is a good hamstring stretch now. We're just getting warmed up. Slow motion. You're welcome to speed it up. And we're just doing a leg grab. All right, and then the legs are gonna come down to the floor. Hands are gonna open up and we're gonna push up into the bridge. Use your glute muscles to lift up the hips and then roll down. Let's do 15 of these. Push up. We're working our hamstrings and our glutes. And down, up. Exhale and inhale. Just get into a little bit of a rhythm. Let's go for 5 more. 3, use those glutes and the hamstrings. 4 and 5. Good. Now we're going to do a little bit more of an active hamstring exercise. So we're going to roll over. You could do a halfway version of this roller over, and then when we roll back up, we're going to go into a forward fold. That's going to stretch underneath the legs. So roll over, maybe pike your legs up. And again, I'm balancing just on my shoulders, not on my hands. And then when you roll back down, you press your hands back and forward fold to stretch out the hamstrings. Let's go for a few more. Roll up, pike up the legs into your inversion. And as you roll down, hands go behind you, forward fold. Roll up, not using any weight on my hands, just lifting with my legs and core. Roll down, come into your forward fold. 2 more. Roll up. Try to pike those legs up. Squeeze the glutes together. Unfold. And then fold into your forward fold. And 1 more. Push, push, push. And then relax into your forward fold. I'm using up more of my mat, so come with your hands gently pressed behind you and fold all the way to your knees. Again, you want to use your yoga block. That's going to bring your knees closer to you. So it's not cheating because you're still technically putting your head down, so you can have your hands behind you, and now you're pressing down on those knees gently for your forward fold. If that's too high, go ahead and remove one. You're graduating. And then try to fold your arms closer to your feet. You can open your hands and maybe put your chest. You can even put the blocks right under your chest like this. And then reach your hands. Do it to whatever comfort level you want. And let's go ahead and forward fold. So I'm gently pressing my hands to my feet, just over the tips of my toes. And I'm going to stretch out my hamstrings really well. Let's do a single leg version of that. Bring one knee to the inside and then reach over, side body stretch, which digs right into that hamstring. You'll feel it right away. And then open up that arm and look up to the sky. Try to keep that elbow to the floor, or maybe grab onto your leg or foot somewhere. Then sweep around and let's switch the legs. And again, here we are arching over. We're getting into that hamstring stretch. And you should be breathing the whole time, even while I'm talking, I'm trying to breathe, but. And then come back. Let's open up both legs now and then reach. Again, if you need your block, take a block out front, no pressure on the hands, no weight bearing on the hands. And now we are in our spine stretch. You can lift up and fold over, lift up. 4 and 5, and reach over and just get a nice spine stretch to go with those hamstrings. And then bring your hands and feet in, and that's going to be it. I'm trying to work on healing my wrists. I'm not using them right now, so the next couple of days I should be good to go. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day. Bye.